Uncle Go Clips.
How would you define self-development for someone? Let's say someone hears it for the first time, just like we did a few years back and never heard about it. What's self-development? What's this whole idea of improving yourself and your mind and consciousness and all of that? Can you go a little bit into that?
Yeah, look, a great question. And unfortunately, I think the self-development industry doesn't do a good job with the whole introduction. It was kind of started back in the Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill time, back in the early 1900s. But then Tony Robbins is kind of seen as the OG, and he took it to a whole new level. But you know what? There's a big movie called The Secret and the book The Secret, and that's where the whole law of attraction was kind of introduced to the masses. But they don't do a great job in the book of telling people really how the law of attraction works. Like, it's super complicated, and they make it seem really easy, and you just sit on your mother's couch and you visualize a mansion and there you go, you're done, cool, off with you. But it doesn't really work like that. So I guess as an introduction, I think Trevor Moawad, who's a kind of sports psychologist, you would call him, does a really good job with the introduction into self-development. And he talks about this whole concept of neutral thinking. Now, neutral thinking is, we've all heard of positive thinking. It's all up here and it's la-di-da and life's wonderful and you got these rose-colored glasses on. And then we've heard of negative thinking, which is, we've all known them. People just complain the whole time. But neutral thinking is looking at the situation without any emotion. And it's looking at the situation as it is. And no matter how bad the situation is or how good it might be, you take it for what it is. And you base your next actions or your next thoughts off what the situation is right now. No emotion, no ego, no confidence, no lack of knowledge, no ignorance. What it is right now. These are the hard facts. And a really good exercise for people is that if you're ever feeling a certain way or you have a current result, write it out in detail, about a paragraph, and then highlight what are the emotions and what are the facts. And a lot of the time, the facts differentiate from the emotions. Mm-hmm. So then you can base your thinking and your next actions off the current situation and what are the facts. Mm-hmm. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I think that's the really good introduction into it, is just neutral thinking. It's hard to jump from negative to positive straight away because life happens, bills come, debts happen, health happens, injuries happen. People will cut you off in traffic and beep at you and, do things that make you upset. So if you can go from negative to neutral, just a simple fact is like 3 minutes of negative news a day increases your chances of saying you had a bad day by 27%. If your environment affects you, then what's your environment? Is your social media full of your friends showing off, living the big life? Is it them eating out when they can't really afford it? Is it them traveling to places they can't afford to travel to? And now you're comparing yourself and you're in this negative state. And you can go down this negative spiral very quickly. So instead of just trying to jump from negative to positive and going and reading all these books and the Tony Robbins seminars and whatever, just go from negative to neutral. Just look at the situation as it is, leave the emotion out of it, and then you can act and think. And then from neutral, once you can do that on a daily basis, pretty consistent, then you can make your way to positive. And one of the easiest ways there is gratitude. Every day, write down 3 things. What are you grateful for? Doesn't have to be big, it can be small. Clothes, roof over your head, technology. Yeah. So
friends, family, stuff like that.
Easy. Yeah. Neutral thinking. I think that should be the introduction into it. And it'll change your life. I mean, you don't need to go into positive thinking and understand conscious and subconscious straight away. Just neutral thinking, stop complaining. It'll have a huge effect on your life.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.